Everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here. Hope you're having a great day. Hope this video can make it a little bit better for you. It is patch notes day, so let's go ahead and break it down. But we're going to start off with the two new champions. So the first of the new champions we're getting is Leona, and here you can see her starting deck. It looks pretty much the same as what it was before. So we don't know if any of the items are maybe changing, but it seems like all the cards are remaining the same, at least for the starting deck. Now, as far as powers, seems like the first 3-star powers are staying the same as before. Of when you activate a Daybreak, grant your units 1/1, and then when you level up a champion, you get this Morning Light in hand. Now, for your 4-star, though, you're able to get Phalanx. When you target an ally, give it Barrier this round. Now, Leona actually has a decent amount of targeting in her deck, even though that's normally not a way you're really focused on playing before. But if we take a look at her starting deck, your Zenith Blade is able to give you some targeting, and then your Blinded Mystic, as well as, I never know how to pronounce this card, but both these also have targeting, and then your Morning Light here also has targeting. So you'll be able to do this pretty regularly, but you could also throw on like the Victor Relic if you have it for some targeting every round as well. This is going to be pretty solid because with Leona, you normally don't want any of your units to die. You want them to stay on the board and constantly getting scaled up every time you activate a Daybreak effect. So this will be pretty good for that. We have the Mana Flow then, and then for your 6-star, try to zoom in here so you can make it a little bit more clear. Whenever an ally's Daybreak is activated, it activates again. Now this is doing a couple things for you, at least it should be. For one, obviously the Daybreak effect is activating twice, so whatever that effect is, it's going to go off twice. That can be really good for like your Sunhawk that's going to stun the strongest enemy. Now it's going to stun the 2 strongest, but this should also do a couple things for you. For one, your Leona is going to level up way faster because you just need to activate Daybreak 5 times, so it'll be very easy for that. But then your scaling you get right here from your 3-star of when you activate Daybreak or another Daybreak, grant your units 1/1. Now every time you activate Daybreak, essentially your whole board is getting 2/2 as far as stats. Now this isn't really changing how you're playing at all, but it's another one of those powers that's pretty much just making everything you're doing a lot stronger. Now the Phalanx though, this will actually be changing how you're playing since you now are trying to get more targeting, and before that was never really something you had to consider. Now for Leona's Relic, we have this right here. This is going to be, as you see here, in the Celebration bundle. So power, allies with Daybreak have tough, so a little bit harder to kill. And then when an ally activates Daybreak, grant allies 1 health. So this is just giving you some further scaling, which is solid every time you trigger a Daybreak. So if you have your 6-star, this should be giving you then 2 health every single time you activate that Daybreak, on top of the 2/2 you're already getting from your 3-star. So giving you a lot more scaling, and again, just helping your units stay on the board and stay alive so they can keep getting even stronger. This plus your 6-star and even your 4-star is just making Leona having an almost unkillable board that's just going to scale out of control. Now, I do think this is going to be pretty useless on almost any other champion. And I think even for Leona, while this will be solid, I don't think it's necessarily like a must pick up in my opinion. Moving on then, we have Lux as the other champion coming this patch. And here we see her starting deck, or at least part of it. Again, all of this seems normal. We don't know if maybe some of the items are switching, but starting deck seems the same. Here's the other part of the starting deck. And again, all these cards seem the same as what she's had previously. Taking a look at powers though, these actually have gotten some pretty big changes. Again, we'll try to zoom up here. There we go. So each round, the first time you spend mana to play a spell, refill mana equal to its cost. Now previously, this was just the first time you play a spell, refill mana equal to its cost. So the issue that would happen is you'd play a 0-cost spell and then you refill 0 mana. So here you have to actually spend mana on a spell, so it has to be not a 0 cost for this to trigger. And it's the same for your 3 cost. Each round, the first time you spend mana on a spell, refill mana equal to its cost. So that is great, really nice quality of life change right there. Your 2-star, this seems to be the exact same as what it was before, which is fine. It's a very good 2-star. Now for your 4-star, you have Spell Burn. When you play a spell, deal 1 to the enemy nexus. So this is going to give you a little bit of chip damage. Probably is not going to be that big of a deal in most matches, but the big thing this is going to do for you is really enable plunder builds for your Lux. Getting Lux on the board often could be a little bit difficult because with that mana, you could play Lux, or you could play a really big spell, get a rally, and often end the game. But here you could easily go for a Lux build where you either put on like a Packed Powder or Scourge of Stash. You play 1 spell, it deals the 1 damage to the Nexus, it refills your mana, you then drop your Lux early, and I think that's going to be the most important part of this spell burn, is getting your Lux on the board in the 1st or 2nd round. So just because of that, it's actually going to be a pretty solid 4-star. Now your 5-star, same as always, mana flow. The 6-star is going to be pretty interesting. When allies attack, create a final spark in hand. Your damaging spells and skills deal 1 extra damage for each 6 mana you've spent this game. So this is great for you. It's kind of synergizing with everything you want to do. With your Golden Aegis, it's giving you rallies, and every time you're doing that rally and getting that attack in, you're now making one of your final sparks, your laser beams. And then as you're playing spells to generate these rallies, you're then increasing your final spark damage. So I think this will be pretty fun. It is kind of making everything you do better, but you're generating more lasers, and now they're going to be more impactful. And this should be pretty fun to play with. Now, this is Lux Relic available in the Celebration Bundle, and I think this is the most interesting and crazy relic we have pretty much ever seen. So power, when you level an allied champion, summon Lux. If you already have Lux, summon Garen, and if you have both and not Galio, you summon Galio. This is going to be kind of fun and a bit of a meme on most champions. This is actually going to be crazy good on Lux, because especially with that Plunder build I was mentioning earlier with your 4-star, you can get Lux on the board turn 1 or turn 2. With the mana that you spend, you can easily level up your Lux. You then get Garen on the board. For Garen to level, he has to strike 2 times. Well, you can attack, give him one of the rallies you are generating, and that rally also gives him barrier to protect him. He can then attack again, and then boom, he is now leveled. Leveled Garen lets you rally at the start of every round. Every time you're attacking, you're now getting more laser beams. But since Garen's going to level, you then summon Galio. For Galio, when he's summoned, he gives or grants 3 health to all of the other units on the board. Even if you just have Lux and Garen on the board, they're both going to be leveled. They're both going to get that extra 3 health. In addition to Galio's health, you're going to be over 25 health, which is Galio's level requirement, which means at the end of the round, Galio is going to level, and Galio's leveled up effect is the first time one of your units takes damage every round, rally. So now Garen, start of every round, you get the attack token, you're rallying. When you attack and take any damage, you're now getting another rally from Galio. And then Lux is able to generate more rallies with your 2nd star power. So I think this is going to be crazy, super fun, but very strong for Lux, but definitely something you need to play around. That's it for the new champions. Let's take a look at what else is in the patch notes. So they're adding a daily login reward. So you can spend this amount of coins right here. This is like just under, or you'll probably have to spend like $5 to get the amount of coins for this. And then every single day, you'll be able to get some wild fragments for essentially a month to 28-day period. And these wild fragments can scale, or they can exceed your wild cap fragment of 500 if that happens. So another nice little way to support the game if you are so inclined. Also, we're getting this right here. So it's going to be the LOR anniversary this month. So if you win 5 games, you're going to get a free card back. We're not sure exactly what that's going to be, but it's something for the 5-year anniversary. Also, with the patch, as normal, we're going to get the bundles for Leona and Lux. Both are going to have a celebration bundle, then a star power bundle. Then if you get that, you can get the celestial bundle, which essentially unlocks the entire champion, getting them to 6 stars and all of that if you want to get all of these bundles. Also, it's going to be a battle pass bundle as normal. And then we have some new bundles that we're not really sure what they're going to be. The 5th anniversary bundle, so champion experience bundle. This is probably going to be like these would be called pearls, but it's the relics, the consumable ones that give you a bunch of champion XP. I'm going to guess this is what that is. The star crystal bundle, so a bunch of star crystals. Nova Crystal bundle. So who knows if these are going to be like flat out Nova Crystals or just some Nova Shards to try to make a Nova Crystal. We'll see. And then Champion bundle, which will probably be a bunch of Champion fragments. Now, we don't know how much is in these, how much these cost. My hope is that since this is an anniversary bundle, it's supposed to be more of a celebration, that these might be time limited for like this month, but they're all going to be pretty cheap potentially. Again, that's just my hope. I'm hoping they're all very cheap, very worth the money, so it does feel more of a celebration or kind of gift, even though you haven't spent something. But again, we'll have to see what these actually entail. Moving on then, the champion bundles for Ari, Heimerdinger, Fiddlesticks, and Evelyn will no longer be available in the featured store, but all celebration bundles for all champions will remain available in the store going forward. So I think this means that all the celebration bundles, which is the cheapest bundle, the one that has Champions Epic Relic in there, all of those are coming back and going to be made available. So if there's a champion that you really wanted their relic, but you didn't get it when it first came out, that's coming back, so you can pick that up if you want. And then this is going to include the Viego 5-star bundle, since he didn't have a celebration bundle available in the previous patches. Also for the Emporium, the icon of Val here is going to get rotated out, and Lux's incandescent baton will be rotating in, which is quite nice since Lux is getting some love this patch with her constellation. Then we are having a rotation. I'll scroll through this relatively slowly so you can see all the champions that are being rotated in and the champions that are being rotated it out. I know most of us on the channel don't really care about PvP, but this is here for those that are interested or do care about it. A lot of champions in the game. And then finally, we have a bug fix. This is very important. Fix an issue where Chemtech Dragon Soul did not revive a unit when killed. So if you had 6-star Ela Dragon, the Chemtech Dragon Soul is supposed to revive your unit. That hasn't been working. That's been fixed. I actually tested this in game, and yes, it is now fixed. So that is awesome. So that is it for the patch. They did say this is going to be a little bit of a smaller one as they're trying to put a lot of effort into the next event, which will be coming next month. But I think for a smaller scope patch, this is looking pretty solid. Both Leona and Lux are going to be very strong, and especially Lux, I think, is going to be a lot of fun to play. For Leona, I think if you're someone that already liked her, then she's going to feel great. If you're someone, though, that wasn't really interested in Leona before, I don't think the changes in her constellation is really going to change your mind on her. Now, we'll have to see what those celebration bundles entail. Hopefully, they're very reasonably priced, but we'll have to see. Also, it's nice that the champion celebration bundles are coming back. Hopefully, this also includes Starforge Gauntlets, but I'm not sure if that was technically a celebration bundle or not, so we'll have to see. But hopefully that's the case. Now, if you want to see me testing or playing any of this live, we'll be doing that as soon as the patch goes live over on Twitch. So there's a link to that channel down below, but also all the content will be edited and chopped up and put here on YouTube as well. So if you're interested in that content, definitely like and subscribe, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.